Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Listeria outbreak has grown, killing 2 and leaving several others sick. And the Food and Drug Administration is taking action to restrict the use of prescription fluoride supplements.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Tuesday, November 4th. It's 6 o'clock this morning, and Megan, it is foggy outside, especially on my drive to work this morning. So hopefully that clears up soon.
It will be clearing up as the sun does rise, which thankfully is earlier than it was last week, so you don't have to deal with it as long. But here's a look at that dense fog advisory we have set out for us this morning, mainly for our Tennessee counties and our Virginia counties, Lee and Wise. Now, as you look at the current visibility, you can tell why that advisory is in place. We're looking at 0-mile visibility in Jacksboro and Jonesville, as well as Harlan. But just because you're not in that advisory does not mean you're not seeing patchy fog. That's all over eastern Kentucky. I mean, take a look at Somerset this morning, also dealing with 0 miles visibility, 1 mile visibility in Moorhead, and we'll stay nice and clear throughout the day, looking at partly cloudy skies. No rain chances in the forecast, with temperatures this morning in a mixture of the 30s and low 40s. Definitely a cold start to your day. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan. In Madison County, the sheriff's office is investigating multiple cases of needles found in Halloween candy. These needles were found in the area off Highway 1016 in Berea. In Richmond, there were also needles found by a family who says they trick-or-treated in the Boone Way, Derby Chase, and Saratoga Circle neighborhoods. Officials with the sheriff's office are urging parents and guardians to check any candy their kids picked up this weekend. If you know anything about where the needles came from, deputies want to hear from you. In Madison County, the jailer is responding to a recently filed wrongful death lawsuit. The family of Jonathan Mansfield says he died after being tased 40 times while in jail. The lawsuit says Mansfield died on October 10th, 2024. He'd been arrested 2 weeks prior on a public intoxication charge. The lawsuit names the former jailer and jail employees. Current jailer Larry Brock was named to the role after former jailer Steve Tussey announced his resignation in December 2024. Since taking over, Brock says the detention center has, quote, made significant strides forward in the operation of the detention center and the care of inmates, end quote. A Listeria outbreak linked to Nate's Fine Foods ready-to-eat pasta salads and prepared meals has grown. 2 more people have died and more people have gotten sick. The outbreak made 27 people sick across 18 states, and 6 people have died. They were sold at major grocery chains across the country, including Trader Joe's, Sprouts, Farmers Market, Kroger, and Walmart. So far, there's been no cases in Tennessee and Kentucky. Well, it is election day for millions of Americans. Key races in New York City, New Jersey, and Virginia could be a bellwether for what to expect in next year's midterm elections. President Donald Trump yesterday weighed in, telling Republicans that a vote for Democrats is a, quote, death wish, except for in New York City, where he has endorsed a former Democratic political adversary. CBS's Jared Hill is in New York with more.
Did you vote yet?
Hours before Election Day, canvassers fanned across New York City's 5 boroughs for a mayoral race that's caught the nation's attention.
I'm really excited about Zoran.
Let us leave everything out there on the field, my friends. Let us do it together.
Zoran Mamdani, a 34-year-old Democratic socialist, is the front-runner. Republican Curtis Sliwa, a distant third in the polls, behind former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat running as an independent. Monday night, President Trump officially endorsed Cuomo and threatened to pull federal funding from the city if Mamdani wins.
We need a mayor who can stand up to Donald Trump, who can get the funding that New York deserves.
The mayoral race here in New York City could prove to be a test for Democrats across the country. More than 700,000 people voted early. Across the river in New Jersey, the race for governor is tightening between Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, a former Navy officer,
When we vote,
and Trump-backed Republican former State Assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli.
This election is all about change.
In several posts on social media, President Trump urged voters to vote Republican in New Jersey and Virginia. That state poised to elect its first woman governor in a race between former Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger and Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears.
Abigail
is for nonsense, but I am for common sense.
In Virginia, we need a governor who will stand up against the chaos.
An off-year election that could give both parties a window into the future. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
President Donald Trump has endorsed New Jersey's GOP gubernatorial candidate, though he has not done the same for Virginia's. Meanwhile, billionaire Elon Musk weighed in on the New York City mayor's race, also endorsing former Governor Cuomo. His opponents both slammed the endorsement and bashed Cuomo's approval of nearly $1 billion in subsidies for a solar panel company later bought by Musk-owned Tesla back when he was governor. An intense battle is underway for each and every vote in next year's midterm elections, and today the nation's eyes are on California. California voters are facing just one question on the ballot: yes or no on Proposition 50. Some of the Democratic Party's biggest names are urging a yes. Prop 50 is a plan to temporarily redraw the state's voting districts to flip as many as 5 House seats from red to blue. Governor Gavin Newsom led the campaign to respond to Texas redistricting, which was at President Trump's request.
Kind of just feels like it's the only option, in terms of preserving democracy for everyone else.
Democrats have made clear that we are going to respond, as is being done in California right now.
If Prop 50 is approved, the Democrats could control as many as 48 of California's 52 congressional seats after next year's election. News polling found most Californians who are voting yes on Prop 50 say they're doing it to oppose President Trump. Well, the Food and Drug Administration is taking action to restrict the use of prescription fluoride supplements. The FDA's move follows a directive from the government's Make America Healthy Again Commission to assess the risks and benefits of the products. The FDA now says kids under 3 years old and older kids at low or moderate risk for tooth decay should avoid taking fluoride products like drops or tablets. A warning for people who take melatonin for sleep. New research presented at an American Heart Association meeting showed long-term use of melatonin supplements is associated with a higher risk of heart failure and death. People taking melatonin for at least a year had more than triple the risk of heart failure, casting doubt on the long-term safety of the popular supplements. Well, it was a scary time of year, not just because of Halloween, but college application deadlines were casting shadows for many families. The deadline for high school students to apply early decision or early action was November 1st. It's viewed as a way for students who feel certain about their dream school to increase their chances of getting in, especially at Ivy Leagues, where competition is extremely tight. But some experts say students should focus on picking the right major rather than prestige.
Oftentimes, your major matters more, and the skills that you have matter more. In other words, what you do in college matters more than where you go to college. So if you have the right major, and more than that, get the skills that are in demand in a job market, as we all know, changing drastically right now because of AI, you're going to do really well after college, no matter where you go.
While not legally binding, early decision applications are technically committed to enrolling in a school if they're accepted without considering other options or financial aid packages. Peaceful Bluegrass Resistance is planning a rally in support of the LGBTQ community. The event comes ahead of a private U.S. Supreme Court meeting Friday. During the meeting, justices will decide whether to hear Kim Davis's case against gay marriage. Davis, as Rowan County clerk, denied marriage licenses to same-sex couples in 2015, despite the federal court order legalizing same-sex marriages. The protest will be held Wednesday from noon to 2 at the corner of Euclid Avenue and East High Street in Lexington. Organizers say it'll be a stationary demonstration, not a march. Well-known Kentucky political reporter Barry Peele has died. He covered Frankfort and the issues facing the state for more than 30 years. Much of that time, he was at our sister station, WKYT. His funeral will be Friday in Lancaster. Barry Peele was 80 years old. Oscar-nominated actress Diane Ladd died yesterday. Her daughter, actress Laura Dern, said that she died at her home in California. There's no word on a cause of death. Ladd's many television and film credits include roles in the movies Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore and Wild at Heart. As we approach the holidays, you can see her as Nora Griswold, Clark's mother, in Christmas Vacation. During her career, Ladd received 3 Oscar nominations and 3 Emmy nominations. She was 89 years old.
And we're still looking at those cold temperatures this morning with a lot of folks across eastern Kentucky dealing with the 30s as you're stepping out of the door. Here's a look at McCreary County, and we are on top of seeing those colder temperatures, dealing with some patchy fog, so keep that in mind as you're starting out for your day too. Here's a look at the rest of the region as a lot of 30s are popping out and about at that freezing mark. 32 degrees in Boonville and Clintwood, as well as Williamsburg. Cooler than freezing in Grundy and Monticello at 30 degrees, so it is a definitely cold start to your day. High temperatures, though, will be about on average for what you'd expect for this time of year in the low to mid 60s, but warmer temperatures are on the way as you're heading into your Wednesday, seeing some 70 chances in the forecast. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you so much for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, open enrollment through the Affordable Health Care Act has begun, but many Americans may be shocked by the prices for next year.
First Federal